Alright guys, welcome back to another FM rebuild. This time, after doing Everton, the height of Everton, we're now facing a way harder challenge, a different challenge and a way harder challenge. We travelled to the Netherlands, to the second division to manage ADO Den Haag. And for context, I'm doing Den Haag because I actually was born there, if you didn't know. Don't know why you would know, but that's the context of this. I was born there, so they're kind of my second team. But I live in England more, so hence why I actually support Portsmouth as the main team. But Den Haag probably is my second team, and we're currently in the second division. And in real life, they're probably around mid-table, looking to fight for the playoffs. But the ultimate aim of this rebuild is to win the Eredivisie over Ajax, who are their main rivals. So back in the day, a few years ago, Den Haag used to be a regular in the Eredivisie, but got relegated and have yet to come back up since. And there used to be some quite fierce derbies between Den Haag and Ajax. So that is the aim, is to be better than Ajax at the end of the rebuild and to have won the Eredivisie and the domestic cup, I guess. But yeah, so let's get right into it. So yeah, it's going to be quite a hard challenge. Again, if you look at the finances, it's not the good best. We're probably going to be looking to rely on the youth a lot. We've got good youth facilities and training facilities, so we're going to be relying on the youth a lot. So I'm excited for that. In terms of the club history, they have got two Eredivisie, 2 Dutch Cups and 3 second divisions. And last season they finished 5th in the Keuken Kampioen Divisie. And immediate prediction to finish in 5th. I'm hoping, I don't mind about going up in the first season. I just want to build a team that can fight in the Eredivisie, so I'm not too bothered about how we do in the first season, as long as it's at least somewhat of a good season. So this rebuild will run until we win the Eredivisie. There's no 5-season limit on it. It's until we reach that goal and see what we could do in the meantime, building up to that. So the board have outlined out their long-term vision, and they want us to have maximum 1-year contracts for players over the age of 32. So again, they really want to focus on youth. In terms of the season, they want us to finish in the top 4 places, and that is required. So if we don't get top 4, we could be in trouble. Work within the wage budget and strive to make progress on and off the pitch. So let's get into it. I'll see you guys at the tactics, and whether or not we're able to do any transfers, I'm not sure I will, but we can see. So I'll see you guys then, and hopefully we could get a tactic that'll work for the team. Alrighty folks, season 1 is done. Transfers and tactics have been completed, so let's get into the transfers. We can only really, with the budget we had, rely on loans, so we've only made 2 signings, both on loan, but they're pretty good loans, so hopefully they do help us. So the players on loan we have signed is Nestroy Irakunda from Bayern Munich. I'm sure you all know this guy. I've never used him yet. He's very fast. He's got good crossing and good finishing. So for a winger, we needed as well, because we really lacked on the right wing. Our current right winger was 34 years old, so kind of need some bit more young blood in there. So that's a good signing. And then another signing for the attack from AS Monaco is George Ilenikina. I don't know how to pronounce his name, but decent enough pace, decent enough finishing, composure and off the ball, and he's got a very good first touch, so he'll be our starting advanced forward, signed on loan from AS Monaco. He's a bit of a wonder kid in the game as well, so it's good to have him on. So in terms of the tactics, we've got new guy Ilinkunia, I can't pronounce that name, and then Lee Bonis up front, Irakunda on the right and Idaho on the left, Vlak in the more advanced midfield position, and then Hock in the defensive position in the midfield. Silla, Vame, Thomas and Van der Sloot in the defence, and then Venkes, that's how you pronounce it, in goalkeeper. So it's kind of a 4-2-4, but we've moved the midfielder a bit more advanced to fill this gap here a bit more. Irangunda, I think, will do well on the right, and our own player Idaho looks pretty solid as well. He's very fast himself as well. He is currently injured, but that's fine. We have played a few games. It hasn't gotten off to the greatest start. We drew to Young Utrecht. Then we lost 3-0 to Roda. Lost then to Canberra. But then we have to beat Young Ajax 2-0. So it's not the greatest start the world's ever seen, considering the media predicts us to finish in first place. Or it did. Now it predicts us to finish third. Last time I checked it, we were predicted to finish first, but we've clearly moved down in the rankings. So yeah, let's get the season underway. It's not the best start, so we're hoping for a brighter mid-game, if that makes sense. So yeah, let's get into it, and hopefully we can get promoted within the first season, but honestly, I'm not too fussed if we don't. It's all about building a team, getting a good youth intake in March or April, whenever it is, because that is going to be very important for us in the rebuild, our youth intake. Like, we have got a good youth facility, so that should help. So we'll look forward to that, and hopefully we get some good plays from it. But yeah, we'll see how the season goes and see how far we can achieve this season. Alright guys, season is finished and we got promoted. I don't know how really, because if you look at the table, we've actually finished in 8th position. So we're very undeserving of promotion. So we obviously got promoted through the playoffs. We had a very torrid season, to be honest. 16 draws is a record for us. I mean, that's insane. 16 draws. Only 7 losses and 15 wins. So it was a season full of draws. So went up through the playoffs. If I filter out, so we have just the playoffs, if I can. I don't think I can, but we'll get to the season. So we started off playoff campaign against Dordrecht, where we beat them 1-0 at home and then drew 1-0 away. Then we played Helmond Sport, beat them 3-2 and 2-1 respectively. And then we played Vitesse at home, we beat them 4-2 and then lost 3-2 in the second leg, but that was enough to see us through. And it doesn't show us our final game, unless we do. We can't. Either way, we then made it through to the final. I think it was Vitesse in the final, if I remember. Either way, we're through. We made it through. Top scorers are lone guy George Ilinkina getting 18 goals and 6 assists. Idaho had a great season, getting 14 and 5. Only problem is he's very injury prone and he missed a lot of the season, so getting 14 and 5 was very impressive. Vlak got 8 and 8 from CDM, which is very impressive. Nestoroi Irukunda also got 7 goals and 12 assists, which is great. Only problem is they're both loanees, so we're next season going to be missing those. And Lee Bonus didn't really have that great of a season, considering he started 39 games, only got 14 goal contributions. It took him a while to get going. But so the only problem is with this, I didn't actually want to go up first season, but if we didn't, we would get sacked. So we had to go up the first season. So that's the problem here, because we are nowhere near ready for promotion, considering our transfer budget for the season is 529k to prepare for life in the Eredivisie. So that's going to be a very hard coup to do. So it's probably going to be relying on loans again and free agents if possible, because obviously missing out on Ilinkina and Irukunda next season's not going to be fun. In terms of the youth intake, which I mentioned that we need a good one, we did get a pretty good one. So we got Loic Mulder, 4.5 star potential winger, really good determination, good pace, good dribbling. So let's want to see how he gets on. Then we also got Danny Cunning, who is a striker who's got decent enough finishing, not the best composure, not the best off the ball, so we'll look to be sending him out on loan, I imagine, if we can. And then we got Jesse Achterberg, who's 5-star potential, decent determination, decent enough pace, but he can be very useful for us in the future if we get him out on loan. And then we got Epi Kroes, centre back. He doesn't really look the best. He's obviously already on the decline. We've got very little determination, which is a very important trait to have. So I'm not sure how he's going to get on. But so yes, next season we prepare for life in the Eredivisie with a little transfer budget. So I'll show you what I can do, and I'll see you guys at the start of season 2 with hopefully a lot of much needed transfers. Alrighty, season 2 is ready to rumble. We made some transfers, decent amount, most of them frees. I think we paid 1 fee for 1 player. So I mean, with the money we got, it was very hard. This was a very hard transfer window. So I'm quite pleased in some parts, but also disappointed with how a lot of it turned out. But I am pleased to announce that Irinkunda and Ilinkina are both staying for another season. We managed to get them on loan again, which is bloody brilliant news because we were struggling for strikers and wingers, so we need them. So I'm very happy to say we've got them again for this season. Dean James is someone we actually signed last season, so Jackie Donker is also someone we signed last season, and now that we're promoted, it isn't really a great signing, so he's not going to be featuring much. I signed him thinking we were going to get him instantly when we're in the second division, but it turns out when we signed him, we agreed to sign him at the end of the season, so I don't really require his services anymore. And it's the same with Deron Payne, who again can be a good little squad player, to be fair, so I'm not too disappointed with that, but I only signed him as a plan for the second division backup, so it is what it is. And the same with Bolas Sangare, striker, who looks okay. He probably won't feature too much either. But now we're on to the signings we've made this season. We're starting with CJ Hamilton on a free. A lot of these are going to be free transfers, by the way. As I said, CJ Hamilton on a free from Blackpool, 30 years old. I signed him purely for his pace. He's got 18 pace, 17 acceleration, so he could cause some problems coming off the bench. All the other stats are non-existent. Like, he's got no finishing, no mentals, good work rate, but that's about it. He's purely for the bench and to come off to play against tired defenders. Then we signed Fabio Tavares on a free from Coventry. I mean, these are the level of signings we're doing compared to the teams like Ajax is astounding. This guy doesn't get into the Coventry team, and he's going to be our starting striker. He has scored in 4 games, so progress. He is fast, 16 pace and 17 acceleration, and he's got somewhat decent finishing, just lacks composure, and he's got decent off the ball, so he could be good for us. It's going to be a hit or miss season, a hit or miss signing for him. But the highlight of the transfer window is, and my favourite transfer of the window, is Sam Stein on a free, because for all you Den Haag fans know, he's from, I believe he's not from the Den Haag Academy, but he used to play for Den Haag, who then left us for FC20, who since released him, and we managed to get him back on a free. So he comes in and becomes instantly our best player. He's a star player, valued quite for us. That's quite a lot of money for us, so that's a quite big value for us. He's very well-rounded, can play in the attacking midfield and just the midfield. I'm playing him in the midfield as a Mazzala, but he's very well-rounded, great work rate, and just decent well-around. He comes in and instantly becomes our best player. So I was very ecstatic to see that we could get him on a free, and he is returning to the club because, as you can see, he has come from the academy. So he went on loan to these clubs. So he is from the Den Haag Academy, which is just great to see him come back. He left us in the 21-22 season, spent 3 seasons in Eredivisie, where in real life I think he's I'm pretty sure in real life he's a key player for them. He plays regularly for them, so this is a good signing for us. And now we've got him on, especially on a free, it's just even better. And then we've signed Madsen from this is the only fee we spent on a player, which is 210k, which for us is breaking the bank. We signed Madsen from Estoril Praia. Decent little player. He's coming in as an important player, but I think Idaho is going to play more over him, and so is Irakunda for now. But he's got 14 pace, decent dribbling and finishing and crossing. So I think he's going to be a good little backup player for us. He's labelled as a decent Eredivisie player, so it's a pretty good signing and worth the fee. Elio Capodrossi is a terrible signing. I didn't realise he was going to be this bad, but yeah, he's bad. We do really need centre backs in, but I don't think there's any point to this guy. I didn't when I was going in from the scouting report. I think I misread it, and he turns out to be a terrible player. So I'm not too happy with him. But if you guys remember Jean-Philippe Gebamin, we signed him on a free. To be fair, comes in and looks to be a very decent player for us. He could play centre back, which is why I wanted him as well, and he could play DM, which we also needed a lot more DM cover as well over Vlak. So Vlak's our current CDM, and Gebamin comes in. He could provide cover for both centre back and midfield, and maybe he has had kind of a stalled career. He's very injury prone, so he probably will be cover. And when he signed for Everton, it didn't really work out for him. And then on loan from Man City as centre back, we have signed Luke Mbet, who provides decent cover as well. He got decent potential. He's 6'1", looks pretty good. To be fair, could be very good cover for us. So I'm pretty happy with that. That is it in terms of transfers. Outgoings, just free transfers and whatnot. Getting rid of Deadwood that we're not going to use. Tactics-wise, we're going to be starting off with Ilan Keener and Tavares up front, Irukunda on the right, and Idaho on the left. Returning boy Sam Stein in the Mazzala with Vlak as the deep line playmaker. Dean James on the left, Viam and the centre back when he's back fair. He's out for a few weeks, which is annoying because he is our best centre back by far. He also does want to leave. He's leaving on a free transfer at the end of the season. We couldn't really do much about that. He wants to go to a bigger club. Diego Thomas at centre back. He's not really the best player, but I mean, he's not bad. But other than that, our centre back options aren't great. So yeah, Silla at right back. Again, right back is a position I really want to fix. And then we've got Ventges in goal, who looks to be pretty solid for us as well. Who's probably a bit too good for us as well. So that is the team. In terms of the media prediction, we are expected to finish in the 16th position, which is relegation. But we have played some games, and if you've just seen there, we are doing pretty well actually. So we started off with a 3-2 win against NAC Breda. Did lose to AZ Alkmaar, which is to be expected, only because we had a player sent off. We actually took the lead, then had Diego Thomas sent off, which didn't help. We then beat Heerenveen 2-1, which is actually a pretty good result because they're a pretty well established Eredivisie team. And then we beat SC Canberra, who came up with us 3-1 thanks to goals from... We got 2 goals from our centre back and Joel Idaho. So it's a pretty solid start. Sits us off at second on the table. I mean, our primary focus is to stay up, because I think we all struggle to stay up this season with our squad depth, just the quality of players. We've still got 192k to spend. We've gone a bit overboard in the wage budget, but it's been a very hard transfer window. It's taken a lot longer than I wanted it to, and so yeah, it's just been very, very full on. It's been hard with the money we get compared to the rest, and I've done Den Haag saves before, and even when I got into Europe on those previous saves, the money was still terrible. So we're going to be relying on Youth Academy and free agents signing. So that is it for the season preview. We shall get into season 2, and hopefully we can do a stay up push and fight for mid-table, hopefully. Alright, our first season back in the Eredivisie has finished, and my god, it does not go as expected. We finished 4th place with 57 points. Quite a far adrift of Ajax and PSV, because we did have quite a poor end to the season, but either way, I cannot complain at this. I was expecting a relegation dogfight, but we've somehow finished 4th. Fabio Tavares finished with 17 goals, and returning man Sam Stein finished with 12 assists, which is just brilliant. So finishing 4th means we have qualified for the Europa League, something I never would have expected to see in the second season, because our team really isn't that good. We got to the quarter-final of the Dutch Cup, where we're inevitably knocked out by PSV, which again, it's still pretty good to get to that far. So in terms of goals, Tavares came 3rd in the Golden Boot with 17 goals and 8 assists. Ilakina got 12 goals and 4 assists. Idaho 8 and 6. Sam Stein 8 goals and 12 assists, which is brilliant. Vlak again from CDM 7 and 6 is excellent. Irukunda 6 and 8. And what have you. So yeah, I mean, pretty good numbers from the boys. We finish off with, this is the team, pretty much exactly the same from the start. Just obviously the lone boys, Irukunda and Ilakina, will be leaving at the end of this season, and so will Vam. He was our starting centre back, which is a shame, because he just wants to go to a bigger club, even though we finished in the Europa League. So I thought that might convince him to stay, but still can't get him on any contract, so he'll leave on a free. So really disappointing with that, but either way, we did great. Finishing 4th is amazing. I don't expect to do the same next season, especially with the Europa League as well. In terms of the transfer budget, it's 1.83 mil, but it's in the red, so I'm not exactly sure what that actually means. We're trying to work some early business, get some early business done, but especially trying to fill the centre-back spot now that our best centre-back is leaving. In terms of the youth academy, so of people to look out for. Last season we got this guy, Akterberg. I've been trying to play him a few times in the Dutch Cup. He got 3 goals and 3 appearances, which is actually brilliant against teams in the Eredivisie as well. So that shows he can do it. We've got Mulder as well from last season's intake. He got 2 goals and 4 assists in the Dutch Cup, which again is really good. He's coming on really well, but he's got 4 finishing, which is really bad. But he's got 15 dribbling and he's quite fast, so that's good as well. In terms of this season's youth intake, it wasn't really the best. We got, thing is, he's not valued or rated very highly. This guy we got, 15-year-old striker, but he's got 16 finishing, 14 determination. He's quite slow, 11 composure and 10 off the ball. I think we could actually improve this guy a lot, especially with 16 finishing, and with that determination, he's going to want to get better. So I think this guy is not out of the race yet, even though he's really star rating really low, but that's fine. We also got Loenschval, Belgian midfielder. It looks okay, not great, not the best, but so that's it in terms of our potential youth to come into the teams. So yeah, with this transfer budget, I was expecting a bit more considering we qualified for the Europa League, but I wasn't expecting much. But yeah, this could be a problem, and it means we'll probably be doing a lot of free signings and loans again. I might even try and get these guys for a 3rd loan this season. I doubt we will be able to, but there's no harm in trying, just because without them, I don't know how well we'll do. But yeah, so 3rd season incoming. I didn't expect such a good 2nd season. First season back in the top division, but yeah, we'll see what transfers we can make in the 3rd season and see what we can do in the 3rd season to improve this. Alright guys, the season is upon us, and transfer wise it's been pretty much a disaster. So that 1.8 million I said about wasn't actually given to us, and it turns out we actually got £0, even though we qualified for the Europa League, so we've got more money through that. They actually gave us a £0 transfer budget. So the only money we managed to get was 500k because of a Nathan Ake sell-on clause from years ago. So that's the only money we managed to receive. So in terms of transfers, we signed Luke Mbep, who was on loan at us last season, on a permanent deal for 250k from Man City, and we've signed Antef Tsasungi as a centre back as well for cover play on a free, and Emre Tezgel from Stoke on loan to be our striker. Yeah, these are the levels of players we're signing. So we also signed, Faride Aladou, who probably is the best signing of the bunch, on a free. 16 pace, 16 acceleration, 16 dribbling. This guy does look very good, to be fair, so this is the highlight of the window. But thing is, I'm kind of stuck in the things to do. I think this season we just take a hit, avoid relegation, but we won't do it as well as last season, on the basis that I'm going to try and play our youth wingers to try and give them game time to develop them, and hopefully we could sell them on for a few million quid. That is the game plan here, because we're not going to get money elsewhere really from the board. So our only way of money is to develop young players and sell them on. So I'm going to look to develop these players and hopefully sell them on in the near future, because that is all we can do really. This is the team: Tezgel up front, Tavares, Mulder, Akterberg as the wingers, Stein and Vlack in the midfield, James who's out injured for a while now, and we don't really have any cover for him, so we're not in a great situation. And Bet and Thomas as the centre back, and Sid on the right with Wentges in the goal. We'll go with the same formation, the same tactics, because it's worked for the last 2 seasons, so why not? Media prediction expects us to finish in 12th, which I will take. Europa League fixtures are as follows. So we've got Servette, Sturm Graz, AS Roma, Dynamo Zagreb, Genk, Maccabi Tel Aviv, Tottenham and Lille. I don't expect to get through the league phase. I just want us to do as well as we possibly can. I have played a few games already, and they haven't really gone great. So we started off with a 1-1 draw against Heracles El Melo. Lost 1-0 to Roda, beat Pexwell 2-1, and then we got battered away 3-0 to FC20. So yeah, season is underway, and it's not going to be a great season, so we'll see what happens. What's up, guys? Season 3 has ended, and you know what? Just because of last season, don't get fooled. We finished 11th, and I'm very happy with that. On the basis that we kind of sacrificed the season to bring through youth into the team, and I think in terms of the youth, I think it has worked. And I'll get into that in a minute. So yeah, we did finish 11th on 46 points, which isn't really bad at all. Miles clear off the relegation zone, so we're never really in threat of that. We kind of were between 10th and 11th the whole season, so in terms of that, quite a boring season. But in terms of the Europa League, I think we did kind of well for considering the team we are. So I'll get into that if we filter out everything. Oh, not everything. Bring back to the Europa League. Okay, so we started off at Servette. We drew 1-1 in the league phase away. Beat Sturm Graz 4-1. We beat Roma 2-1, which is a very impressive result. Did lose to Dynamo Zagreb, unfortunately, but we then did turn over Genk 3-0, Maccabi 3-0. Did lose 7-1 to Tottenham. That's to be expected. That was quite a reality check there. Lost to Lille 4-2 at home, which then put us into the knockout playoff round, where we beat Villarreal 4-1 at home, unfortunately bottled it 5-0 away. So I think, considering the club we are, that is quite impressive. To get out of the league phase, I think is quite impressive. So I'm very happy with that. I'm not too displeased with that. But in terms of everything else, Dutch Cup, I think we went out of the first round. I wasn't too fussed. But in terms of the league, we had some good results. Beat Feyenoord, I believe. Did lose one game quite heavily, if I remember correctly. I can't find it, but I'm pretty sure we lost 7-0 to someone. But let's not gloss over that. So let's go into this goals. Fabio Tavares finished with 13 goals and 2, so quite a downgrade from what he was last season, but he was injured throughout the season a few times. And then the highlight of the season for us is Jesse Akterberg got 10 goals and 5 assists, who is our young player who has developed wonderfully, really. He's got now a value of 8 million to 10 million, so if we were to sell him, we'll make a lot of money considering the position we are in. He's got very good stats now, and he chipped in with a lot of goals, so I'm very happy with that. Then we got Loic Mulder, a right winger from the Youth Academy as well, who finished off 8 and 7, who has also been nominated in the Next Gen Awards, which is a brilliant sign to see. He's not as high value. I don't get why, because he's not better than Akterberg, and Akterberg didn't get nominated for the Next Gen Awards, but that's fine. I'm not too fussed. But he's progressed nicely. He's still only got 4 finishing, but he still managed to score 8 goals, so that's pretty good. He's fast. He's very agile. Got great dribbling, good determination. So this guy, I think our 2 new Youth Academy wingers are going to be there for the rest of the season. And then, so we'll try to give Danny Koning a go up, the nod up front. He looks pretty good, but he only scored 6 goals in 34 appearances, which is quite disappointing, really. He doesn't score a lot, which is annoying. He did want to leave at the start of the season due to some sort of discrepancy with me. I don't know why, but he does now want to stay. He's got decent enough value, can become 4.6 mil. And yeah, his pace has improved massively. He started off with about 9 pace, so that's great to see. His composure and off the ball need work, but they have improved. But his 14 finishing is very good. So we'll still stick with him. But what I'm most happy about is Dante de Donen, who I believe I showed you at the start of the season, where he didn't have the great potential, but as you can see, we played him and it's up to potential. But look, he's got 17 finishing. I know finishing as a striker is not the end all be all, but his off the ball work has improved massively, because I think that was at a 9 at the start of the season. And bear in mind, he only played 10 games, so this is like over one season progress. His composure has increased, and in 10 games he scored 4 goals and 1 assist for us, which I think is great. So I think he's going to be good for us. I'm going to start him again next season potentially. So this is how we did finish off with this attack. Our attack's full youth academy, which wasn't the intention of this rebuild, but because of the lack of money, we've kind of had to settle for that. So that's it. That's all I want to show you in terms of the goals and our youth academy progress. These guys, we did get from this season's youth academy. Delaire, a Brazilian goalkeeper with high determination, who I'm tempted to. So we've been getting a lot of interest in Ventes from like Belgian teams. So he want to sign him for 7 million, and if they come in again for 7 million, I might accept that and then play this guy and just give this guy the game time, because I think with game time this guy is gonna bomb. This guy's just gonna explode, I think, as well. So that's the potential. We've got the potential of that, and then we've got Sean Makis as well, who we got from this season's thing. He's not the best, but he's got high determination. He's not the fastest, and he hasn't got the best crossing, but he's got good tackling and a good work rate. So I think, again, with game time, this guy could be really good. And guys, we have actually got the highest transfer budget. Oh, I should mention as well, sorry. After the season, we actually had £0 to spend, which actually I can't remember if I mentioned or not. But now we do have the highest transfer budget we've ever had, with 1.9 million, which isn't a lot still, but it's the most we've had. So we've actually got some money to play around with. And I'm looking at signing a new fullback, a new defender. Tsungi came in, he's not actually that bad, so I think I might stick with him. Diego Thomas might be in trouble though. Midfield, I'm happy with. We've managed to get Vlak to a new contract, which is very important, because he did actually want to leave towards the middle part of the season, and he's very important for us, so I'm happy we kept him. And then Stein as well is obviously a star player for us, getting 5 goals and 11 assists. So I'm actually very happy with the progress of the team, the progress of the youth players that we've trusted, and it's paying off, I think. And in a season or two time, we can sell these guys on for big money and do a proper rebuild. Because obviously the objective of this rebuild is to win the Eredivisie, and there's no season limit unless it gets like 20 seasons, and we don't win it. Then I'm probably just call it quits at that point. But I don't think it's going to take that long. I think within 4 seasons' time, we'll definitely be challenging for it. So we'll see what happens, and I'll see you guys at season 4, I believe. Alright, ladies and gents, season is underway and ready to rumble. Transfers have been done, and we've been very busy. And there's been departures and a few decent incomings, so let's get into it. And we'll first start off with the departures. The main one being Sam Stein to Sunderland for £11 million. I couldn't really say no to £11 million, even though he is probably one of our star players. So, yeah, it's sad he's gone, but to get him on a free and then sell him for £11 million is a great bit of business. And he's not irreplaceable. I mean, he was a good player for us, but he wasn't irreplaceable. So I think that's a good bit of business for us. And then another major outgoing is our main goalkeeper, Hugo Wentas, to Leipzig for £3.9 million. So again, not irreplaceable, but was our best keeper by a long shot. But he's gone to Leipzig, couldn't say no to that money as well. So yeah, those are the main outgoings. And then in terms of incomings, so we started off with Luca Schuler from Hertha Berlin. We signed for free. We signed him for free, I forgot. Not bad. He'll be our backup striker, although he's registered as a regular starter. He'll be our backup too. I mean, he's out for 5 weeks. Anyway, at least it was. He'll be our backup striker to our 2 youth academy boys. And then we signed on a free from Fortuna Sittard is Rodrigo Goof, Brazilian centre back. Comes in and is our best centre back. Well, he's one of the better centre backs we've got, because we have to replace Vime, who left 2 seasons ago now actually, but we haven't quite been able to replace him. And then not lastly, from Real Sociedad on a free, we signed John Magunazilele, attacking midfielder who actually does look pretty good, really good finishing for an attacking midfielder, and he's very well rounded. He's probably the ideal replacement for Sam Stein, but I'm not actually. But I've had a bit of a formation tweak-ish, so I don't know how much this guy is going to feature in the new system, and we'll get onto that. And then for £1.4 million this is the most money we spent, by the way, in this whole rebuild, is Jens Jacob from Willem 2 for £1.4 million, right back, quite fast, not the best defensively, but he's better than what we had, so it's an improvement. And okay, this one's a bit of a risky business, but I think this guy could be really good for us, and I think he's our highest ever transfer spend in the rebuild, and I think in the club's history, for £6.5 million from, again, Venom 2. We have signed Marius Ubanski, Danish centre-back, who is 18 years old. He's 6'4". He's got a really good work rate and teamwork. Tackling needs a lot of work, but he's got 13 heading and 15 jumping reach. I think this guy's going to be an absolute machine at the back from set pieces as well. So there's that to think about. So I think that guy could be a really good bit of business. And then a new left back from Union SG from the Belgian League for 900k. We signed Arthur Zagri to be a left back. Again, he's quite fast. He's very similar to Jacobs on the right back position, so that's not too bad at all. And then I'm very happy with this bit of business. This is probably more of the Sam Stein replacement. For £3.4 million from Rennes. We signed Joel Emmanuel Koulibaly, 20 years old, good determination, good pace for a CDM as well. Very well rounded, got good passing, good tackling. I think this guy's going to be really good for us, and again, only 20 years old. So I think this guy is going to start straight away. And as a backup from Lille for £5.25 million, which is quite expensive for a backup, but it's a good backup to have. Registered as a squad player, which is really good, but he's pretty well rounded. On a bit of decline stat-wise, but that doesn't matter. So here it is in terms of the tactics. So we've got Koning and Den Dunnan up front. I'm going to hope this is going to be his breakout season, because I think this guy can get really good. We've got the same wingers, Mulder and Achterberg, and then instead of a Mazzala, we've now got a flat midfield of Vlak and new guy Koulibaly, so probably a bit more of a defensive formation than last season's and all the rest. And then in defence, we've got Zagre, Ubanski, Goof and Jacob, so a completely whole new back four. And then we've got Delaire and goal, this is the biggest risk I'm taking, just because of his determination alone and his reflexes. I'm going to start this guy in goal, and hopefully, because obviously we lost our main goalkeeper, hopefully this guy explodes, because we need him to. In terms of how the season started, it's been a pretty poor start in fairness. 2-0 loss to Feyenoord, 2-1 loss to Groningen, a 2-1 victory over Breda, 3-1 loss over Utrecht, 2-1 win over Pexwell, and a 1-0 loss to Excelsior. So yeah, it's been a very poor start. But again, this season is another season just to develop our players, and the next season is where I think we'll start to again pick up where we started in the first season and visit, getting qualifying for Europa League and getting a bit higher up the table. Media prediction expects us to finish in 11th, which I probably will expect to finish. So this season isn't about results; it's just about development and maybe selling on players for bigger fees and profit. So yeah, let's get right into it then. Alrighty guys, season has finished, and it's a pretty mediocre season in the Eredivisie for us, as we finish 11th place with only 37 points, which I think is a lot worse than last season's points haul. I mean, again, this season was only about developing players and making sure players get their breakthrough seasons. I was not expecting to challenge the top 5 or the top 6 this season, but I think next season maybe we can start to push on. But this season was purely just for breakthrough seasons. So in terms of squad goals, it's a little bit worrying, because our top scorer was Dante Dunnan with 11 goals and 3 assists, who has progressed nicely. He's still got good finishing, his pace is getting better, his off the ball work is getting better, so he will come good. But and then Danny Koning finished with 10 goals and 2 assists. He's starting to look pretty good as well. He's a lot faster than when we first started him. He's got very good leadership, so he's definitely in the process of breaking through. And then Jesse Achterberg with 6 goals and 7 assists, which is pretty good for him. He finished. He was nominated in the Next Gen Awards for one of the best wonder kids, and I think he is one of the best wonder kids in the game. His stats are unreal. His returns the last 2 seasons have been pretty good, so I'm very happy with him. And then we've got Mulder with 3 goals and 6 assists, who again is progressing quite nicely. Not as much as Achterberg is, but he's still progressing nonetheless. Other than that though, goals were quite hard to come by. We did not score as much as we wanted to, hence why we finished quite mid-table there. Next season we have got £1.64 million to work with, so I'm going to try and spend that. We've got this guy coming in. I don't know how good this guy's going to be, but it's just for backup and get him on loan as soon as he comes in. So we signed him from Châteauroux in the French 2nd division, I believe. So yeah, I mean, it's not really a season to shout home about. Koulibaly, obviously first season he played alright. again, he's got a very good start, so keeping an eye out for him. Babinski probably wasn't as good as I thought he was going to be. Wasn't amazing. He didn't actually score a single goal, which I was kind of hoping he would from set pieces. With being 6'4", I thought he was going to be a big threat from set pieces, but clearly wasn't. So we need to work on that. But other than that, I'm pretty happy with how the squad's going. We probably are going to sign another striker to be the main striker, accompanying one of the other youth guys, because we do need to, like, we don't want to forget our actual overall aim of the rebuild, which is to win the Eredivisie. So we will need to have that to balance out a bit. So I'm looking forward to next season. I think next season is going to be a bit better for us. And obviously, if you look at the schedule, it's started really ropey, getting a few wins here and there. So yeah, it really wasn't that impressive of a season. It was quite a dull season. Nothing really happened competitions-wise. We got knocked out in the first round by FC Eindhoven in the Dutch Cup, who are a division below us. So that was quite disappointing. But yeah, so there's nothing really crazy to shout home about, but it's laying the foundations of something that I do believe in, and I believe it will work. Maybe I will look to replace Mulder as well, because maybe he's just not quite ready yet, just to get someone who's a bit more prolific up front as well, because I think last season our problem was goals. We just didn't score as much goals as we normally do. So yeah, I'll look into that and see what happens, next season. Alrighty guys, season is underway, transfers have been done, so let's get straight into them. So we started off with the signing of Jaden Banel from Ajax on a free transfer. He will be our backup left and right winger. He's not the worst, but he's not the best, so he's purely backup, but I think he'll be a pretty good backup for us. So that is the first signing done and dusted. And then we move on to Ismail Traoré from Strasbourg for 625k fee. He's not a bad centre back. He's still quite young, 25, 6 foot, and he's got some decent stats there. So I think he comes in to be our starting centre back alongside Sungi. I'm gonna be a bit more cautious over Urbanski, because I didn't think it was that great last season. So he'll probably start on the bench and hopefully develop through that as well. And he will get some game time as well. That is our centre back sorted. Then from Ajax on a free transfer, we've signed Tommy Setford, the goalkeeper. This guy who comes in to be our main goalkeeper, as Delaire, who I was playing last season, didn't really develop as much as they want to, and it was a big risk that I think ultimately did cost us. So we bring in Tommy Setford for that reason, just to come in and be more of an experienced goalkeeper than him. And then finally, last signing was Daniel Jobison on a free transfer, just to be a backup striker. He's got decent pace, decent finishing, and dribbling, and first touch. So he comes in to be a backup. I don't know how much you'll get, how many games you'll play, but we'll see. And in terms of outgoings, nothing really crazy to report about. Just loans, all loans, other than who is left on a small marginal fee. So that is the transfer business done. The season has started. It hasn't started great again. In fact, it started quite awfully, really. So we started off with a 1-0 loss against Canberra. We beat Excelsior 1-0, lost to Breda and Ajax, beat Groningen, lost to Nijmegen, and just lost 4-2 to FC20. So again, which puts us currently in 15th. So it's not looking good. So we've got a big season ahead of us to overturn this. I have changed tactics just to, I think the 4-2-4 was getting a bit stale, wasn't really working, and after those poor results I've decided I think it's time for change tactics. So we've gone with 3 in the midfield with Siraglu in the Mizala, Vlak in the ball-winning box-to-box midfielder, and Kurbai in the CDM. We've gone for 1 man up top with Koning, Akseberg and Aladu on the wings. And then we've got Jacobs, Tsungi, Traoré and Zagre as the defenders, and then Setford in an attack in goal. Sorry, I'm actually going to change that to goalkeeper defend. As you can see, this is a much more attacking formation, just because I think we just need I think what we've been struggling with the last 2 seasons previously is goals. So I think we just need to focus more on goals and use a tactic that can help us bring that out of us. I'm still unsure who the starting strikers should be. It should be statistically just Brunican, but because Conan's got his potential, I think I kind of want to use him just because he'll get better and better, hopefully. But if that doesn't work out, I'll just put another guy in goal and see what happens. Maybe this guy even, but I might be tempted to send this guy out on loan, but we'll see what happens. So yeah, the season commence. Again, yes, it's not the best start, so we've got a lot of work to do. So let's get into it. Well, guys, I think we might be cooked. It is another mid-table finish, 10th, and it's just not good enough, really. I'm getting kind of worried now. I don't really know what to do. I think we're stalling for the last 3 seasons. We're just stalling. We're plateaued. We're not getting the development of the players that I'd hoped we would, and it's just not really working in that respect. Our top scorer, we're just not scoring goals. Our top scorer was Danny Koning with 12 goals, followed by Daniel Jefferson with 11. It's just, we're not scoring goals. And if you look here, we were in the fewest conceded, but we are 7th in the most goals, but I just don't think we're scoring enough goals. We scored 50, but like our top scorer's got 12 goals, so it's just, I'm a bit worried. He looks a good player, but he just doesn't score as much as I want him to. Same with the other strikers. So and then obviously we got third rounded by Nek Nijmegen, whatever they pronounce in the Dutch Cup. Like it's another mediocre season with no real signs of improvement. Okay, so I haven't actually used this tactic, but I've just concocted this because for the reference and context of this, I did a Den Haag save in the last time I did a Den Haag save was in FM 22, and I used this tactic and it cooked for me. I know it's a different FM, but it brought me goals and it just overloads the box with players. So I think this is what we're gonna try and run with next season. It's primarily gonna be our home tactic. I don't think I'll use this away because I think that's asking to get battered away. But yeah, this is my plan to fix the lack of goals, and I don't know if it's going to work or not. It's a big risk, but if it works, it'll work. So we'll have Akterberg as a pressing forward. He's a winger, but he can play striker. And then we'll have Koning as the pressing forward, and then Jefferson as the attacking forward. Jefferson did alright in the game time he had, so yeah. We'll have Koulibaly and this guy as midfield. I'm unsure of whether to use him as a Carrillo, because if he's a Carrillo, it will sort of push wide a bit, which we might need, because obviously the wide bit there's a bit in the red. We'll have Jacobs and Tsungi as the wing backs, Bansky and probably a new centre back, and Decore as the three in the back, and then Setford. And then we're just going to try and work it into the box, use the underlap right for the strikers, play quite narrow with a high tempo. It's a concoction. It's going to be a hit or miss, but we'll see what happens. So we'll plan our transfers according to this tactic. But problem is, they've given us 2.66 mil. But the last time, 2 seasons back, when I was in a situation where they give me a red budget, by the time it gets to the transfer window, it gets deducted to 0. So I'm expecting no transfer budget. So we're not even. I don't think we are in debt actually. We're not in much debt, so I don't know what we're going to do this transfer window. I don't know how. I'm at a point in the career of the rebuild now where I'm stuck on ideas. I don't know how to sign players that are going to improve this team with such little budgets. Our latest youth intake was rubbish. Didn't get a single person of note, so we're just a bit stuck. Mulder hasn't developed as much as I want him to. Dunnan again hasn't really developed as much as I wanted. With 17 finishing, I thought he'll score a lot more goals, but he just didn't. So this guy looks pretty good that I signed 2 seasons back. I haven't actually started using him until this season, so he looks pretty good. Vlax has been moved to the bench, who's been a long stay guy in our team, but he's getting on now, 30 years old. So yeah, next season is a big season because we need this tactic to work. We need it to work quick. We need more goals, but this is going to sacrifice defence for goals, which could be the answer. But if it's not, we'll change up and see what happens. So yeah, it's just not a good time of the rebuild. Considering the second season where we finished 4th in the Eredivisie, got to Europa League, third season, did see somewhat okay with it, and now since then nothing really of notes happened. So I am getting a bit worried that we are just going to fall off now and be a mid-table team, and I'm not that good enough of an FM player to know what to do with it, because with little to no budget is kind of, and zero reputation, is kind of impossible. But anyway, guys, we'll see what happens next season. Do the transfers if we can, and it'll be a lot of frees again, but hopefully we can get some good deals going on. But yeah, this is the situation we're in. Alrighty, guys, season and transfers are underway, and before we get into the tactics and the transfers, I just want to show you our start to the season, because it's been a lot better than previous. So we started off with a 0-0 draw against Velem 2, to then beat Ajax, our rivals, 3-1 at home, which is a brilliant result. Beat Nijmegen 3-1, Sparta Rotterdam 2-0, lost to Utrecht 2-1, beat PSV 3-2, so there's some big wins in there, and Heerenveen 2-1 as well, and then we beat Excelsior, so that puts us in second in the league after 8 games. But I mean, yeah, let's not get too carried away, but we're starting to cook. Just whether or not we can keep hold of that. But in terms of incomings, there wasn't a great deal. There's only 2 signed, but I'll talk about the outgoings first. So, because we needed to have some outgoings, because as I predicted, the transfer fund went to £0, so we needed to sell some players at that to raise some funds. So we managed to raise £9.75 million, but we didn't see all of that. So we started off with Jesper Uniken, who had his release clause met by, is it Hamburg? Hamburg, yep. So he's left the club for £3.5 million pound rather, and Farid Alidou's gone to Genk for £6.25 million, rising to 7.5. It was a good player for us, but it's a lot of money we could have got for a player that we somewhat didn't use. So I wasn't too fast letting him go, but it raised much needed funds. And then incomings wise, we signed Mark Gay on a free. The Chelsea former Chelsea striker hasn't really worked out from an FM, so we're giving him a chance to come in as a fringe player. He's got okay stats, still got decent potential, but we'll see what happens. And then our biggest signing and only other signing is Steven Negru from Racing Santander for £3.3 million. Previously of Oxford, I remember, from the Oxford Academy. He comes in to be a really good centre-back for us, and I think he does look very good. He's already got 2 goals and 3 assists for us, so that's pretty good going from him. Pretty solid. He's 6'1", pretty solid centre-back, and we need another centre-back. And then, so if we go into the tactics, it's very rogue, but I think it is working. We've got the green lines already, so we're going to have 3 in attack with Achterberg as the left striker, as a pressing forward. Gone from a winger to a striker, and could definitely do that. He's already got 4 goals and 1 assist doing so. Koning as a poacher up front, and he's already got 4 goals and assists doing that as well, so I think it's working. And then we've got Jefferson as a pressing forward. Then we've got a midfield duo of Sharagu and Kurbayi, one a bit more defensive than the other. And then we've got the wing backs of Jacobs, who I think who is pretty fast. As you can see, he's got 15 pace rather than 16 acceleration. So I think he'll be perfect in that wing back role, and he's also got very good stamina, so he could definitely handle the job. And then we've got Tsungi, who is primarily more of a centre back, but he's been doing pretty well as a left wing back, already racking up 3 assists and 2 player of the matches. And then our 3 centre backs are Decore, Abansky as the middle, and Negru as a wide centre back. So as Jacob pushes on upwards, Negru will sort of cover him on the wider part of the pitch, so I think that works. But it seems so far it's been working well, because Jacob will bomb up the right, and then Negru will sort of cover him, and then we've got a Setford in goal. And then, as I mentioned previously, we've got everyone on the top right, working ball into the box, and got quite a high line of engagement in the standard defensive line. So I think it's working so far. Just see how long it works for, and then whether or not we have to change it. But season preview has us finish in 7th place, which I'll still take. Like, we've already picked up 19 points out of 8 games, which is very good from us. So we'll see if we can continue that on. But we've already got some big wins over Ajax and PSV, which is great to see. But we'll see what happens to come at the end of the season. Guys, I am an absolute genius. We have had the season of our life, and this tactic, it was the best tactic I've ever used in my life, because we have won the Eredivisie, and my god, what a win it was. Level on points with PSV, 80 points. We've only lost 4 games. We have won the Eredivisie. I did not think I was going to say that this season, considering the last few, but we have done it. We have completed our rebuild. We have won the Eredivisie with ADO Den Haag. look at the form, 5 wins in a row, and I'll show you how we won the title. So come with me, guys, all the way from the start. So we start off with a few wins at the start of the season to get us running nicely, and then in September, unbeaten at September. October, we start well, unbeaten in the whole of October, a few draws there as well. November, we see a loss to Feyenoord, but then win back-to-back at 3 back-to-back. December, we lose 2 games, only one in the actual Eredivisie though. And January, unbeaten again. And then February, only lost 1, with a thrashing against Excelsior 5-1. March, unbeaten. April, 4 games unbeaten in April. And then on the last day to win the title, if we win and PSV win, all I need to do is win on goal difference. And boy, did we win. We won 9-1 away. I am shocked. I don't know how to describe how I've done this. This is the first time I've ever properly used this tactic. As I said, I've used a tactic similar to this that I made again in like FM22, but it was quite different. But I think we've got the perfect balance of attack to defence as well, midfield as well. And what a season this guy's had. 16 goals, 2 assists from the midfield. And he looks like an absolute quality player now. And I bought him on a free, and for 2 seasons I just barely used him. What was I doing? This guy is the real deal. Koning, 13 goals and 7. Jebison, 15 goals and 7. Achterberg, 13 goals and 7. We've got the goals that we needed. I said at the start of the season we need to score more goals, and we did. If we go to Eredivisie, I wonder where we lie in the most goals. We're first in the most goals. We are first in the after what about conceded? I mean, we're 4th with a few conceded, so it's not like we sacrificed defence for goals. We were great in both. And Negri proved to be an unreal signing for us. He's really shored us up. Urbanski as well. Doesn't look the best, but he still did well. And Decore as well. Brilliant. I'm in shock, guys. Achterberg is, for me, a club legend. He came in as a boy and has come out as a man. Don't know why he's got all these downgrades, but he's cooked. He's cooked. Just I guess he's got his new position. Koning as well. He's been a tricky one. He's never really had any prolific seasons. This is his highest scoring season since I started playing him. First season properly, where he started playing, he only got 4 goals and 3, and then 10 and 1, and then 11 and 2. He's never really been a prolific striker. He's never scored over 15 goals, so it was a bit frustrating for me. Jebson's come in and he's done well. 15 and 6, 9 and 3 for us in the 2 seasons he's been here. He's done well, and then obviously this guy is just been unreal for us, and I can't believe I was stupid enough not to really play him that much. Jacobs as well, 15 assists by the way from Jacobs and 5 goals. That position I put him in as a right back with the pace he had, I expected him to join in with the attack, and he did. And even Tsungi as well, who's naturally a centre back, chipped in with 12 assists and 2. What an unbelievable season this is. This has been one of my favourite ever rebuilds, but also one of my hardest ever rebuilds by far. It's with the lack of money, it made it challenging. Like next season, if we were to have a next season, we won the league, qualified for the Champions League, and we've only got 933k to spend. So that just shows how hard this rebuild's been. But it's been worth it. It's been fun, and I am glad it's over, because I was getting worried about how long it was going to take. But we did it after a poor few seasons. If I get to the actual league, and we get to the past positions, if I can, I'll be here. So first, obviously, winning the league out last season, finished 10th. Season before, finished 11th. Season before, 11th. Then 4th. So yeah, since our Europa League season, it's been pretty poor, but we brought it back and we won the league, and I'm ecstatic. So that is it, guys. That is the end of Den Haag rebuild. I have enjoyed it. I hope you guys have. Try it yourself. It's very challenging. See how many seasons it took you. It took me about 6, I think. 6 or 7 seasons. But yeah, see how long it guys took you, and let me know.